I'm just waiting for the stream to get set up here, friends. Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 sec. Okay, so hi there, friends. It's Bill Huston with the Bill Huston Podcast. We have a very important show for you coming up today, and I hope you all tune in. This is especially going to be of interest. I mean, it's going to be of general interest to anybody who lives in the village of Endicott and or the town of Union, and also surrounding communities such as Vestal, Binghamton, Johnson City, any place in the southern tier. 5G is getting rolled out in a very major way right now, even as far as, Ithaca, Rochester, upstate, anywhere you might want to tune into this. We are going to be presenting information that's specific about the village of Endicott, but there's going to be general interest information here for you, critical information presented to you about 5G. 5G is a very dangerous new technology that's being rolled out in a major way. It has quite a few very serious concerns in terms of human health impacts, in terms of impacts to animal life, birds, insects, pollinators. If we screw up with the pollinators, it's game over for the human race. There's concerns whether 5G, it's a brand new technology, okay? It's extremely high frequency. Presently, your cell phone, your microwave oven operates in the range of maybe 1 to 2 gigahertz. 5G is all the way up to 30, 40, 50 gigahertz. It's really new, and it's also new in terms of the power density. People are fighting 5G all over the world because this is a global rollout. There's not only human health concerns and concerns to animal life, insect life, but also privacy concerns because it has to do with the Internet of Things. I call it the global digital panopticon because that's what it's going to be. It's this giant surveillance and control grid that's being rolled out. It's more than just data. So, the regulatory scheme that's been set up is highly onerous. Basically, there's no federal or state agency that's regulating this whatsoever. At the federal level, you might expect HHS, Health and Human Services, or the EPA, that might be, or the FCC. All of those might have some kind of jurisdiction over this. They've all taken a pass. At the state level, we have Department of Health, we have the Public Service Commission, we have the DEC. Once again, every state agency, they've not only taken a pass, but they're also rolling out the red carpet. Right now in the town of Union, Broome County, and also the village of Endicott, Verizon has come in with this, what they call the Master License Agreement. It's a franchise agreement. And they're trying to get the village of Endicott and the town of Union to sign off on this before there's even one poll application. They're basically trying to get everybody to buy into this thing. This master license agreement has many defects. If you know of any town or village officials in any anywhere in the region, okay, but especially the village of Endicott officials. I've already reached out to all of them, but you might want to, communicate with them yourself. Anybody that you know with No Burn Broome, anybody that you know with the Sierra Club or the Broome County Environmental Management Council, neighboring towns and villages like Johnson City or City of Binghamton. These are already being rolled out in the City of Binghamton. And I don't know of any group anywhere in Broome County that's resisting them. So resisting this thing. There's no NGO. You would expect Sierra Club, maybe. I don't know. One of these environmental groups to be fighting this thing. There's nobody. So in sum, there's no federal or state agency that's watching over this. There is no there's no NGOs or environmental groups that are fighting this. Nothing officially. So I am connected now with a group. It's called New Yorkers for Wired Tech, and I'm plugged into this leadership team, and I've been working on this for close to 2 months now. Okay, and I've been communicating with the top citizen activists like me that are connected all over the state. I'm hooked in with these people that have been fighting this. There's going to be 12,000 of these towers fired up in New York City. They've already got 8,000, I think, installed, and there's a total of 12,000 that are permitted. What's interesting about that number? Well, everybody's talking about the virus right now, coronavirus, COVID-19. Okay, this began in Wuhan, China. What's interesting about Wuhan, China? Not only do they have toxic, hazardous waste incinerators there, they have notoriously bad air quality, but also they turned on 10,000 5G towers just before this pandemic broke out in Wuhan, and everybody started getting sick with pneumonia and flu-like symptoms. Guess what causes flu-like symptoms? Electromagnetic radiation and radio frequency radiation can cause flu-like symptoms. Yes, friends, there's been books written about this, okay? So I'm very, very lucky to be at 4 p.m. today, okay? It's coming up in a couple of hours here. We're going to be having a call with Odette Wilkins right here. Odette is an attorney. Her group is a brand new nonprofit that's just been fired up. It's called Hardwire Broadband Inc. And she's one of the top experts in New York State on 5G, not just on the human health impacts and the other nasty impacts, but also in the regulatory scheme and how we can fight this thing. The way that it's been set up because of the 96 Telecom Act, it's really complicated. And I know a little bit about the law, and I know a little bit about technology. Okay, I was a ham radio operator in high school. I know a little bit about radio waves and propagation, and I'm an engineer myself. So and I have serious concerns about this, okay? There's so much data. I've been pouring through all of this information. So we're going to talk to an expert, somebody that really has studied this deeply and has been fighting this in Long Island and in New York City for a couple of years now. Odette Wilkins, she's an attorney, Hardwire Broadband. She's gone over this Village of Endicott master license agreement, and she says that it is a complete giveaway of the public rights of way to Verizon. Wait till you see what's in this, friends. It's really a terrible, terrible thing. We have to. The Village of Endicott is set to vote on this next Monday. So that's Monday, October 7th. We have to get on the ball. We have to call the village officials and get them to take this off the agenda. Not just vote it down. They can vote it down if they want to, but we want to get this thing off the agenda because until a couple of things are met. Number one, we need to do an environmental impact statement on the master license agreement. We need to look at what's the rollout going to look like? How many towers are going to be built? How many of these small cell towers are going to be put up in the village? And it's not just Verizon. There's also going to be other carriers that are going to be putting up redundant infrastructure. There's no limits to growth right now. And this master license agreement basically gets the Village of Endicott to sacrifice or give up their rights of remedy by contract. So it's extremely devious. And so Verizon basically is giving this to the village and saying, sign here so that we can start doing this. And there's nobody fighting it except for me, little old Bill here, as I have been. I've been a leader for 10 years, actually longer than that. If you look at, in the 2000s, I was working with Broome County Peace Action. I was doing a lot of work, war resistance work. I was doing media reform work with the cable contract, trying to get public access TV studios in Binghamton. For the last 10 years, I've been fighting high-volume hydraulic hydrofracking. I lived for 2 years in the center, in Ground Zero, Dimock, Pennsylvania. I lived for 2 years in Dimock, Pennsylvania, doing research and documentary work, and I haven't even released all that because I've got to tell you, my life has been hard over the last year or so. Very difficult, okay? I have a lot of issues, a lot of problems that I'm working with, and financial is a huge one. One of my problems was I was chased through the courts by an oil and gas company that was doing work there in Dimick. I was dragged through the courts for 2 years. It's finally over, but it was a very, very unpleasant time in my life. So I put my body on the line. I put my life on the line for this work, friends. And there's nobody else doing the work that I do, okay? There's no environmental group that's doing it. All of the regulatory agencies are taking a pass. I've been a leader in environmental issues here in Endicott, bomb trucks, type 4 high pressure CNG, extremely high pressure, brand new kind of trucks transporting natural gas, XNG and NG Advantage. Who was doing all the research on that? Who's the top expert in maybe the country on these trucks? I'm one of the top. You know, Craig Stevens is hugely important in that too. But you know, who is fighting stink trucks? Basically, this leachate operation, this legally dubious leachate operation that here on campus and I3 Electronics dreamed up, where they were bringing in, they started up a brand new business, basically waste importation process, where they'd put it through some kind of course filtration, different kinds of processes to pull out, neutralize the pH and pull out some, neutralize biological products, things like that, and then dump it into the Susquehanna River, dilute it and dump it into the Susquehanna River. Who is the leader on that? Okay. I've been fighting locally for 10 years, environmental issue. I'm one of the leaders of environmental work, public safety work in the area. I need your support, friends. If you appreciate my work, I need support right now, okay? I can't even get to my P.O. box because I'm locked out. I'm going to be 3 months past due on my rent. I'm 3 months past due on my storage shed. I'm going to lose everything that I own. I need some serious financial help. I appreciate donations in any amount, but the big donations right now could really help me a lot. I need to raise $2,500 super urgently, or else when the eviction courts come back open after the first of the year, I'm probably going to be on the streets unless I can get somebody to let me sleep on a couch. Okay, I'm going to keep doing this work as long as I can, friends, but now is the time. If you really have appreciated my work fighting fracking, pipelines, We Are Seneca Lake. I was up there the very first. If you do a search for We Are Seneca Lake and look for the top video that comes out, that was my video. I traveled all over New York State during the fracking fight to record the SGEIS hearings, the generic environmental impact statement, the supplemental there's several different versions of this thing, but basically it was a generic environmental impact statement for fracking in New York. I traveled all over New York recording every single hearing, and I brought that to you for free. I did this work volunteer. I used to have a pretty good job, and I would basically self-fund my work, but I don't have that job anymore, so I need your help. So Seneca Lake, the storage facility, Constitution Pipeline, that was a multi-billion-dollar pipeline. We killed it. I was one of the leaders of that fight too. I did dozens of hours of lots of public hearings for the Constitution Pipeline. We killed the I-81 pipeline before it went into pre-file. That was a pipeline that was going to be 60 miles or so from Binghamton up to Syracuse. I was involved in the fight against the Atlantic Coast Pipeline. Finally, that was killed. I traveled to Virginia and I gave some presentations very early on in the fight against the Atlantic Coast Pipeline. So I do advocacy work up and down the East Coast and regionally, New York, Pennsylvania. I need your help, friends, right now more than anything. So if you are able to, I can't even get to my post office box. I'm locked out of that right now. My phone has been turned off. I'm using a free kind of digital phone service right now because this is turned off. Okay, if I am going to keep my phone number, I need to pay it in just a couple of weeks here. So I'm in grave financial shape right now, friends. So if you appreciate my work, I need to raise $2,500 super, super urgently. Don't send it to my P.O. box because I can't get to it right now. Send it. I only can take PayPal right now. tinyurl.com/donate to Bill Huston. Tiny URL. There it is right. How do I do it? Like there. tinyurl.com/donate to Bill Huston, Huston. Just look at that. There's a link down below, by the way, in the video description. You can just click on that link. $100 donation, super appreciative. I have a special bonus. If I haven't sent it to you, if you've donated $100 or more, I've got a special bonus to send to you. If you've donated more than 100 and you haven't seen this this bonus feature that I have, please let me know and I will send it to you. My email address is, let me see if I can find my email. Where is my email address? Is that, ooh, I gotta move it, don't I? Okay. So there's my email address, williamahuston@gmail.com. Feel free to contact me there. Please come back and tune in at 4, especially if you are a village or town or city official in New York and you want to understand, number one, what are the impacts? Why are people so worried about 5G? You're going to find out about that today at 4 p.m. You're going to learn about the regulatory scheme. And our hands have been tied to some degree, or we've been convinced that our hands are tied. It's a little bit of a, I'm trying to think of a clean word. I was going to use this word, mind something. It's a mind screw. Let's put it that way. It's a little bit of a psyop that's been presented to us to convince us that we can't fight this thing. We can fight it. Okay. And I am very, very privileged to host Odette Wilkins with Hardware Broadband, Inc. It's a brand new nonprofit that's just started up. This is what she's doing. She's helping Endicott. Little old Endicott. God bless Odette Wilkins. She's given us dozens of hours of pro bono legal work right now, analyzing this thing. And you are going to be the first to find out these defects with this master license agreement and the devious things that Verizon is doing and these other cell phone providers to try to slam through this stuff during a pandemic, or allegedly during a pandemic. I'm a pandemic skeptic, and I've done some shows about that. You got to go to my BitChute channel if you want to see that, because my analysis of the pandemic show was deleted within 24 hours by YouTube after it was published. So go to my BitChute channel, Bill Huston Podcast, and you're going to see my video about, or just go to my blog, billhustonpodcast.blogspot.com, and you can find a link to several different platforms where my pandemic show is there. So, but during this pandemic, during the time, whether it's real or not, we are all locked down, and they're trying to roll out this brand new technology that's very unsafe, has serious privacy concerns, and there's no regulatory agency that's looking at this. There's no nonprofits other than Odette's brand new nonprofit, Hardwire Broadband, Inc. Nobody's looking at this, okay? So, little old Bill, the village idiot, it's like I tried for 6 months to, scream and shout about the Incinerator that's coming. There's another one that I was the leader on. I was way ahead of every group. Finally, Sierra Club signed on to it. Thank God. Okay. But Sierra Club wasn't the leader. They were like, it's like pulling along a kid along to, trying to take them to school, and they don't want to go, and you're dragging them along. That's what I had to do with the Sierra Club. And I appreciate my friends that are in the Sierra Club. I've got some friends and donors in the Sierra Club, okay? So I do appreciate them. As an organization, they were not helpful in the Incinerator fight. They're taking credit for moving Donna Lupardo to ask for an environmental impact statement. But I'm telling you, the only person I was doing this 6 months before the group No Burn Broom existed, okay? So if you appreciate my work, again, I appreciate donations in any amount. There is the donate link, tinyurl.com/donate to Bill Huston. Tune in at 4 p.m. today, and you're going to learn some very interesting things about 5G. Okay, let me just check the chat really quick and see if anybody is watching. I don't see anybody talking in the chat, so I'm going to sign off for now and come back at 4, and you're going to be blown away by what you're going to hear about 5G that's being rolled out in the southern tier, Broome County, right now. It's happening, and we need help. We need help from people like you, ordinary citizens, but also we need help from the town and village officials. So this presentation is going to be very, very important for town and village and city officials to pay attention to. So send this out to everyone you know that is a town or village official. Now, what I'm going to tell you is that the best thing to do for you, I need to get rid of my snail mail. Okay, so if you want to be alerted when we go live, the best thing for you to do is to visit the Bill Huston podcast on YouTube and to subscribe. Click the subscribe button, and also be sure to click the bell and ask for all notifications, and then you will get an email or an alert on your phone, depending on how you have it set up, whenever I go live or whenever I post a new program. So subscribe now, and that way you'll be alerted when we go live at 4 p.m. Otherwise, watch for links on social media. I'm going to put links up probably about 15 minutes beforehand, and that's about it. Tune in at 4, and you're going to be blown away by what you hear about 5G. Cinco, hey, 5G being rolled out in New York right now with no regulatory oversight. Zero. This is up to the local municipalities, friends. This is critical information brought to you, as always, on the Bill Huston Podcast channel. We'll talk to you real soon at 4 o'clock.